Hi everyone, my name is Missy Lane. I'm one of the children's librarians at the Bedford Free Public Library, and this is Poetry Month, as you probably know, and to celebrate we thought we'd bring you some poems. So it is Shakespeare's birthday next week, April 23rd, but I'm not going to read you the sonnets of William Shakespeare, even though they are in the public domain. The first poems we have today are about hats. So here's one. Silly Jane Muddlecombe lost her hat. She couldn't find it anywhere. Imagine that. She walked down the street and everybody said, "Oh, silly Jane Muddlecombe, your hat is on your head." Maybe you've done something like that at some point. The next poem is by Shel Silverstein, the wonderful Shel Silverstein. Teddy said it was a hat, and so I put it on. And now my dad is saying, "Where the heck's the plunger gone?" Typically Shel Silverstein. A little poem about a ketchup bottle goes like this. When you tip and tip the ketchup bottle, a little will come out, and then a lot will. Sometimes that happens. Has it ever happened to you? It's happened to me. The next poem is about school. Everybody's thinking about school today, these days. That's why dogs and cats are not allowed in the library. My dad says school is important. It will help me to learn and grow. And if I work really hard at school, who knows how far I'll go. He says if I do well at school, I could be anything someday. I even could be president of the whole US of A. I hate to tell my dad he's wrong, but he's making a mistake. I never could be president, but you see I am a snake. See you later. I have a poetry behind me, and on the poetry are a couple of haikus about Murphy the Turtle, which some staff people wrote. A haiku is a poem which has 17 syllables, 5 in the first line, 7 in the second, and 5 in the third. It's usually the way it's done. So the first haiku about Murphy is this one. Sitting in the sun, basking in the warmest light, swimming to cool off. You know how sometimes you see him up in his dock and sometimes you see him swimming, and we'll all be seeing him, I hope, very soon. Another Murphy haiku. On his dock he sits, waiting for a friend to come. Probably you. Splash. Murphy greets you. That's another Murphy haiku. The next part of our time, I thought I would read a poem for some adults. And it's written by someone who knew very well what it meant to be alone in solitude, Emily Dickinson. Hope is a thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chillest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me. There are many beautiful poems by Emily Dickinson, which maybe you'd like to explore. The next poem is for all you 4-year-olds out there. I miss all you 4-year-olds and your 4-month-olds and your 44-year-olds and all the other ages in between. This poem is called To a Child by Christopher Morley. I won't read all the verses because there are several, but you might like to look it up yourself. To a Child. The greatest poem ever known is one all poets have outgrown. The poetry innate, untold, of being only 4 years old. Still young enough to be a part of nature's great, impulsive heart. Born comrade of burst, bird, beast, and tree, and unself-conscious as the bee. In your unstained, transparent eyes, there is no conscience, no surprise. Life's queer conundrums you accept, your strange divinity still kept. And life that sets all things in rhyme may make you poet too in time. But there were days, O tender elf, when you were poetry itself. So for all you poets out there, thank you for listening. Share some poetry if you'd like. Thank you for coming and enjoy the rest of Poetry Month. And we will see you very soon.